Welcome back to Behind the Scenes. This time, instead of a race, I bring you the last team standing match I've been working on. This may be one of the most ridiculous things I've probably put together in the creator and GTA so far. So let's get into it. So this was partly inspired by a earlier deathmatch I did that involved aircraft, and partly inspired by the ending scene of King Kong. And this is an idea I've kind of been working with for a little while, but I couldn't really figure out ever how to really make it work in any mode. And I finally threw something together. So it's up to 30 players. We're on top of Maze Bank. Team 1 will have all 15 players placed on top of Maze Bank with RPG pickups. I think later on I'm actually going to add a minigun pickup in the middle. It's pretty cut and dry up here. Team 1 stands up here. I mean, if you try to jump off, you don't even have a parachute. You'll just fall to your death and die, and that'll be the end of it. So all players are pretty much forced to stay up here with their RPGs. Down here, don't let the openness bother you though. You are protected. So down here we have Team 2. This purple strip is it's called a zone in the creator. And what it does is basically erases any pedestrians or vehicles that could go in this area. Basically, vehicles or pedestrians would be restricted in this whole area right here. And the reason for that is you have all these planes here. I put a limited number of jets. There's only 5 jets. The people use, a lot of teamwork. If there's a lot of players in here, the jets could use good cover for. I put 15 dusters out. I put the dusters in basically for trying to dive bomb the enemy. Trying to bump them off the top of the building, basically. I've put 2 cargo bobs, which have SMG pickups for now. So you can have a couple teams, small teams in each one of these, doing strafing runs with the machine guns. Or they can use these 6 cars I've placed, and they're basically just a pick up with a cargo bob and, release them above the bank if you can get close enough with them to, fire them off. I put this armor here. I don't see that it would ever be needed. If you get slammed by an RPG, you've had it anyway. Another thing is if you end up running out of ammo with your machine guns, you will have to come back here to replenish that ammo. Here's a little base I kind of constructed where Team 2 will start out. They basically just run through this green container here out to this. Of course, everybody will see these first, and later learn there's, lasers out here. I've also put 2 Valkyries. The teams can choose how they want to work together and what vehicles they use to try to conquer the other team. So, about that protection I was talking about for Team 1. Let's do a test with Team 2. is basically if you test with Team 1, all you're going to do is stand there because the AI isn't smart enough in the game to get in any of the vehicles and go for the enemy. So Team 1 testing it, basically you would just see me standing there with an RPG on top of the building as if I was waiting for, aircraft to come in. So let's go from Team 2's perspective. We'll see if I can knock out all 15 enemies up there, if I crash trying. It's another thing when you're testing in these during like your death matches or last team standing. You're pretty much invincible, so if, say, I crash, I'm going to have to run all the way back to, because as of right now, I've turned off traffic, so I would have to run all the way back to this base to get another aircraft. Once it's out in the wild, I'll play it a few times with other players and slowly work on a balance. I think it's okay. I think a minigun on the bank would make it a little bit more balanced out as far as firepower. And these lasers, get a good pilot behind it, and anybody's pretty much doomed if they can shoot well. Alright. Taking off. The creature is attacking the city. HQ, something is materializing on the building. Monster! Oh yeah, I did it. I built a robot on the back. The biggest abomination in GTA 5 history. That's your protection. Pretty much. Basically materializes as you get close to it. But did get a kill there. See, pretty much not wide open. You do have the Lumen robot protecting you. I mostly just built this out of fun, really. It was kind of like a mock battle. The players up top with the missiles, kind of represent the King Kong. And of course, the monstrosity on top of the building that I've built as the monster, and of course, Team 2 would betray the military trying to take out the monster. Also on the robot, I put some dynamic explosives. So there's certain parts you can hit on the robot that'll explode. So it's not completely static. It does have some interactive feature to it. Oh, what do I do? Stall. Still got my landing gear up. Come on in hot. Switch to some missiles. See if we can bring some of these missiles down on them. We're using Michael's character, so it gets a little hairy flying sometimes with him. Not quite. On this version of the game, I don't quite have him leveled up at all. After playing both versions on Xbox 360 and PS3. How many times you play the campaign, really? Yeah, I suppose I go through it little bit by little bit. Maybe unlock some achievements, this and that, but we'll see later on. Maybe I'll get into it a little bit, but Possibly not. With all the games I'd like to get lined up. A lot of the new stuff that's coming out looks quite appetizing. Oh yeah. Oh no. Well, it looks like wasn't able to do it. I tried the old maneuver behind the feet, between the feet, but didn't work out. So that's Night of the Robot, Last Team Standing match. It is out on Xbox One right now. I did publish it. It's going to be something I work on, here and there. Evolve it little by little. But I hope you enjoyed this somewhat short episode of Behind the Scenes. We'll speak with you soon. Take care.